There was big news in the crypto market just now that could totally change the trend we've been following. It could not only stop the decline, but also start a rise to new all-time highs. This isn't just another top story. This one really changes the mood in all the big markets, especially XRP. There's been a very strange trend in crypto over the last few weeks. Even though there was a string of major positive news, prices kept going down, most people haven't understood it. If you only looked at the charts, you wouldn't know that XRP has been having one of its best underlying runs in years. We finally have the piece that was missing. There may finally be an end to the thing that has been holding the market back. All of these good things that have been building up pressure in the background are about to explode forward when it does. Let's talk about it. These events could finally give the market a break from the stress it's been under for months, letting XRP finally show the kind of progress we've all been waiting for. The government shutdown in the US seems to be coming to an end. Deals are being finished and negotiations are coming to an end. There are signs that a solution will be found within days. That may sound like a dull political story, but in the world of finance, it's a huge game changer. When a stop is over, it always opens a valve that lets air flow. When there is less uncertainty, money flows back into risky investments. Volatility drops, and people feel better almost overnight. Now, for some reason, the markets always go down when the government shuts down. This is true for stocks, bonds, and cryptocurrency. The feelings are the same, even though everyone knows it's only brief. Investors stop buying, computers go off, and money leaves the market. But when the cloud goes away, the money comes back in droves, and the rise is often faster than anyone thinks. This is where things get interesting for XRP. Most people are asking why the price hasn't changed despite all the good news, but the real reason could be that the market just couldn't move. It was stuck in a state of fear. That roadblock will go away, though, once the shutdown is over. Then all the bullish factors that have been building up slowly below the surface can finally have an effect. Check out the XRP Millionaire Blueprint if you really want to know how the top 1% are getting ready for the next phase. It will teach you how they think, what they do, and how to become a millionaire that will change your life. It's linked in the comment below that has been pinned right now. All right, let's go ahead. Because things going on behind the scenes right now are making it possible for one of the biggest market recoveries in years. The most important thing to know is that the shutdown has stopped all market activity. Take a look. Major news stories about XRP adoption have come out, along with news of new agreements and strong institutional signals from Ripple's most recent events. It's just that the same big story drowns out the news every time it comes out: uncertainty in the government. The market has been crazy about it. We've seen things like this before. This is how people reacted to things like tariff fears and Fed policy uncertainty in the past. When a big fear comes up, the market holds on to it until it goes away. Then as soon as it's over, buyers turn their attention back to the basics. That's when prices start to really move. Crypto buyers have learned to expect bad news. That's the thing. As soon as a news story comes out, people reply right away. First sell, then think. Now, though, things are different because we're at the end of that response cycle. When the news about the government changes, so does the mood. All of a sudden, people become aware of the huge progress that is being made in the background, and XRP is sitting right there in that spot. While everyone was paying attention to global noise, Ripple and the XRP ledger have been stacking win after win. Ripple Swell just announced that MasterCard will now be able to settle transactions. That's a very important claim. This means that standard banks aren't just interested in blockchain anymore, it is actively becoming stronger with it. And that partnership didn't just happen by itself. It's part of a bigger trend of bringing together different kinds of institutions. Also, there have been more talks about approving crypto ETFs, which would bring in a lot of money that has been collecting for years. Don't forget that these ETFs do more than just get you noticed. They also give you credibility. And being honest makes a lot of money. Everything changes when Wall Street is given the go-ahead to grow, and this is why I keep stressing the time. the end of the government. Shutdown doesn't just get rid of a small problem, it changes the way people think about the market as a whole. The main story is no longer about fear, but about chance investors start looking for assets that can be used, are widely adopted, and are known around the world. That's where XRP really shines. Take a look at the XRP price chart right now. It's right on a very important support line. Traders call this area the decision zone. In the past, XRP has always bounced back at this level whenever the market calmed down. There is a clear pattern on the chart. People buy XRP when it gets to this area. And the way things are going with this shutdown settlement makes me think we might be about to see another big change. When XRP hit the support the last 2 times, it quickly rose again, setting the stage for uptrends that lasted for weeks. It's not an accident. Those levels have shown over and over again to be where institutional money starts to come back in. When the government reopens, there is often a macro relief surge that happens at the same time. If this happens again, XRP could easily pull back to the middle of its range, regain momentum, and start testing resistance again. Things really start to get exciting when we switch from defense to offense. This is because the attention goes back to the basics that were lost in the noise of the offense. Basic things like the number of cross-border payments on the XRP system growing basics. More banks should look into XRP for managing cash and basics, like Ripple presenting itself as the link between digital assets and the world's money system. That is the kind of change in the story that can quickly turn doubt into certainty. Once a trend starts, the market loves it and lives off of it. Traders get involved, retailers follow, and the mood gets worse and worse. During every bull period, the same pattern shows up. Fear gives way to peace of mind. Feeling better leads to confidence, and having confidence leads to speeding up. Right now, we're on the edge of that change point. That's why I believe this week's events could be the start of something much bigger. It's not just political news that the government shutdown is over. It's a sign that the global fog that has been blocking liquidity is lifting. And when cash comes back, it looks for chances to make money. For that reason, XRP is a great choice. Adoption, usefulness, and a place in the world map that most other cryptocurrencies don't have. Yes, that's where the next wave of money wants to go. Smart money doesn't wait when fear leaves the market. It moves first. It looks for things that are worth less than they are worth. The ones that really get used, really grow, and really have a strong long-term story. And XRP does everything right now. This isn't just about energy or hype. It's about change that can be seen and measured. Ripple has been quietly setting up the XRP system to be a key part of the next phase of financial infrastructure for a few months now. It's no longer about fighting with banks. It has to do with working with them. Ripple has been working with banks all over the world for years to build partnerships. These partnerships are now being put to use in the real world. That's not a dream when you have a network that can settle deals in seconds, charge very little, and work all over the world. The world is starting to see that as a system that works. More payment routes are opening up from Latin America to Asia that use XRP and the XRP ledger to send money across borders. Integration like that doesn't make the news every day, but it's what makes this place valuable in the long run. Put that together with what's coming, with the government shutdown over, market mood getting better, and new waves of cash coming into crypto, it's easy to see why this could be a historic moment. We're not just looking at one good news story. Several factors are coming together at the same time: large-scale relief, growth in institutions, and speeding up of technology. Markets change when these 3 forces come together. It happened during the tech boom. We saw it when the internet was just starting out. The same thing is happening with blockchain networks that are useful in the real world. XRP is in a good position to gain. It's set up to be the leader. What makes XRP stand out right now is how far ahead it is in making regulations clear. You still have to wait for most cryptocurrencies to have their day in court, but XRP has already been through that fire ripple and won. One of its best qualities now is how clear it became because of it. Because when the big money comes in, institutional funds, company treasuries, and players in the financial infrastructure, they won't take chances on projects that aren't clear on how they will be regulated. They'll move toward what's safe and clear. That's what XRP does. That change is already beginning to happen. There are more typical banks that are trying out digital asset payments, but not with random coins. They are looking into ecosystems that are tested, liquid, and controlled. Ripple's technology is great for that type of person. The business has shown for more than 10 years that blockchain isn't just a theory, it's meant to fix problems in global banking that have been going on for decades. And while all of this has been going on, the price of XRP has been sitting still, waiting for the time when principles matter again. That time could be now because macro uncertainty was the only thing that was controlling how people felt. That's what's being cleared. That's when buyers and investors will start to look at where the real value is, again, instead of fear. The XRP record is pretty close to the top of that list. Let's look at the price action again for a second. At the moment, XRP is close to a level that has historically been a big turning point. This support area has been checked many times and has always held up. After every drop into this area, prices have quickly gone back up. There you have it, smart money building up. Retailers tend to freak out when these amounts are reached, but institutions tend to load up without a fuss. It's easy to see why this trend keeps happening. It's where chance and value meet. It's at this point that risk and profit become so unequal that big investors can't ignore it. They know that the best way to set themselves up for the next leg up is to buy near key supports when conditions are getting better. And with all the news coming out right now, like the government reopening and ETF approvals, those positions could go up quickly. By looking at the bigger picture of crypto, it's easy to see that the market is getting ready for a liquidity event. More and more people agree that crypto ETFs are almost ready to be officially approved. As soon as that happens, it will be very easy for institutions to get to digital assets. For the first time in years, pension funds, mutual funds, and family offices will be able to get on right away. In this case, XRP really does have an edge. That's why it's not just another risky product, it's part of a real payment system that people all over the world are already using. It's not just assets that institutions want to sell. They want assets that can be used and have a reason. This makes XRP stand out when the waters open. Ripple has been making new relationships at a record speed at the same time. At Ripple Swell, central bankers, payment executives, and heads of institutions got together. That tells you everything you need to know about the direction this business is going. Their work isn't on the fringe. They work in the middle of the next big change in the business world. It's not just talk either. The fact that Ripple and MasterCard are now working together on payment is a clear sign that the company is ready to move on to the next level. MasterCard does not work with risky businesses. It works with well-known networks that can get things done. And this partnership shows that the biggest names in banking trust Ripple's technology. It takes time to build that kind of trust. Years of building, testing, and delivery led to it. Now think about what happens when news like this keeps coming out. After a big relationship, there's always another one. One merger makes others want to do the same. A network effect starts soon after. The kind of snowball effect that can make people want to use something and raise its value at the same time. That's why XRP is so strong. It's not a short-term story. The system will last for a long time and is being made all the time. But most people miss this important point. Before moving, markets don't wait for everyone to agree on something. They're moving to get ready. The smartest buyers get in before the news spreads, and by the time most people hear about it, the move has already taken place. That's why it's so important to understand these triggers early on. The news is going to change as soon as the shutdown is over. The market will no longer be afraid of the unknown. Instead, it will rise as trust returns. And when that story is turned around, everything that was being ignored looks like a chance again. With its usefulness, ability to work with institutions, and ability to be used all over the world, XRP will stand out right away. Don't forget that markets love motion and stories. Right now, XRP is going through a change. It used to be held back by macro pressure, but now it's breaking free thanks to its underlying strength. As soon as buyers see the turnaround on the charts and link it to the macro relief, they start to feel confident again. And this time, that trust isn't based on nothing, it's based on years of growth, clear laws, and support from institutions. That's what makes XRP different from 95% of the market at the moment. It's still hard for most projects to figure out why they exist. XRP already has one. As the market starts to change, we'll see a big change in how people act. Investors will begin to tell the difference between projects that have real-world uses and projects that are only there for selling. When money comes back into the market, this shift always takes place. The assets that can't make a case for themselves get pushed to the background while the ones that are really being used take the lead. This shift doesn't just happen in crypto, it happens everywhere. It takes place in every market after a slump. The most valuable things always go up first and the fastest. XRP is a great example of this because it has strong foundations and an established ecosystem. As we move on to the next step, we're really looking forward to approval. The first thing that needs to happen is for XRP to hold its current support and rise back to the middle of its trade range. After that, breaking through obstacles becomes the next goal. That's the technical hint that usually brings in new waves of momentum traders and computers that buy. But the change in how people think about the market is the real force behind it all. When buyers who were afraid of missing out become hopeful, they feel compelled to buy right away. That's what makes every market rise go faster, and XRP's setup looks like it will be ready to take advantage of that moment when it comes. It's all going to be a big next step up from the government reopening to institutions adopting the idea to agreements around the world. Some of these reasons point to the next big move, possibly happening soon, but no one can say for sure when it will happen because there is a time in every circle when things finally work out for the best. And for people who own XRP and are watching the market right now, that point may be closer than most people think. When markets finally start to move in this way, the quiet times before the breakout are what make the move what it is. That's where XRP is now. It stays still and quiet even as the world around it changes for the better. Most buyers don't see that moment until it's too late, when the charts are already screaming higher. People who read the signs, on the other hand, know that every change starts long before the crowd does. Things are already getting ready to start. The agreement to end the shutdown will take a big load off the world's financial system. This will let risky assets breathe again. The approvals of ETFs will bring a flood of cash into the market that has never been seen before. As blockchain relationships grow in the real world, trust in the assets that will play a part in the future economy will grow as well. XRP is right in the middle of all of these strong forces. It's interesting to see how much better the fundamentals are now than they were the last time the market turned. In the past, gatherings were mostly caused by excitement in stores. This time, infrastructure, utility, and institutional acceptance are the ones that will make the difference. That's not the same basis at all. For that reason, the next rise is likely to last longer because it will be based on real use instead of just emotion. The speed and effectiveness of the XRP ledger are no longer just nice-to-haves. They are shown to be true every day in real-life transaction processes. The technology is now being tested or used by central banks, payment providers, and money transfer businesses. For the money world, it's becoming a given, and things don't go away once they become infrastructure. It gets bigger. Long-term investors love growth stories like that. It's not about deals or hype. It's about having a piece of a system that's slowly becoming important to the world's banking network. That kind of real-world demand, combined with cash from institutional capital, makes for a great recipe for prices to keep going up. The psychological rotation among buyers is another strong force at work right now. People have been on defense for months, limiting their exposure, hanging on to their cash, and waiting for things to become clear. But as soon as things become clear, that same capital starts to chase success. In the stock market, we saw this happen many times. The early birds got the best results because they got in before everyone else. The support zone and underlying momentum of XRP make it one of the best times in the market right now for that kind of move. As the story changes from one of fear to one of opportunity, traders start to focus on leadership assets, which are what drive innovation, acceptance, and liquidity. All of those things can be said about XRP. So it's possible that XRP will not only follow the market, but also lead it when the next wave starts. Now, patience and a big picture view are important. Big money doesn't move right away. It moves in a planned way. It steps in when things are going well, and those conditions are quickly coming together right now. When the news about the shutdown stops and news about the approval of ETFs takes over, people will once again be talking about which assets stand to gain the most from institutional integration. The community around Ripple is already ready for that kind of attention. This is where the effect of compounding really starts to show itself. There is more trust with each new relationship, each new use case, and each new announcement. Credibility brings in money. Volume is driven by capital. Value is strengthened by volume. There is a loop of input. XRP is in the middle of it all. There comes a time when everything changes in the business world. This is the point at which vision turns into inevitable. We are very close to that point for blockchain and digital assets. The technology is no longer just an idea. The tracks are built and the infrastructure is fully developed. There are no bugs, and the system is ready to be used by many people. In key markets, the law is finally becoming clearer, which gives banks the go-ahead they've been waiting for. There are already quiet moves going on behind the scenes to get capital ready to flow where the future is going. There has been a lack of trust until now, the belief that this change can't be stopped. It has to happen. That's exactly what this new government decision and the wave of adoption by institutions are going to do. The sign that the next financial era is not going to happen today. It's starting right now in real time in front of our eyes. As we move into the next few weeks, keep an eye on the XRP chart and that support. Also, pay attention to how quickly mood can change when the big picture pressure goes away. Because in an instant, the market that has been careful and quiet could become aggressive and hopeful, and things tend to happen faster than anyone thinks they will when that switch flips. The most important thing to remember is that the chance doesn't go away. It changes. It goes from being unsure to having momentum. From hesitating to acting, XRP is in a great situation to take advantage of that change and turn years of work into speed. The XRP Millionaire Plan has everything you need to know about how the richest players think, move, and build wealth that lasts generations. It shows you how to think, where to stand, and what steps to take to become a millionaire. It's linked for you in the comment below that has been pinned.